Most business owners get denied for funding not because they aren't qualified, but because they are applying for business funding in the wrong lane. And the reality is, while there are multiple ways to fund yourself in the year 2026, there are three distinct lanes that every business owner should know about that can more than likely position them and their business to get access to the capital that they need. Each lane has different rules, different products, and different qualifiers. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking all three down in detail. Let's begin. What is going on, family? Very excited for this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about three different business funding lanes that you all should know. Once again, these are not the only lanes that exist when it comes to getting financing for your business. We can go in depth when it comes to things like asset-based lending and so forth and so on. But these three that we're going to be talking about are typically the most common ones that from the consultations and business funding analyses that we've done in our company are the best fit for you guys that are watching at home. I'm extremely excited to break this down in depth, and without further ado, y'all, let's begin. There are typically going to be three lanes of financing that you can go out and get approved for funding for. The first lane is going to be traditional funding. Traditional funding. Okay. Now, what is traditional funding? Who is traditional funding for? Traditional funding is typically going to be for the business owner that has good personal credit, right? Good credit that they can leverage, to where they are going to act as the PG, or the personal guarantor for short, for the funding. All right. They're going to act as the personal guarantor for the funding. Typically, when you're looking for traditional financing, you're typically looking at two different types of business funding products, which is usually going to be a business credit card or a business line of credit. Okay. Now, with the business credit card, for most of you guys who have been watching for some time, usually you're able to get approved for anywhere from $10K on the low end to, depending on the lender, upwards of $50K plus on the high end. And with business lines of credit, this is also a popular one too. However, this isn't strictly just looking at your personal credit. Of course, it's also looking at the finances of your business and beyond. And this could also be anywhere of 10K on the low end to really getting as high as like 75K plus on the high end, depending on what type of banks that you are looking at and or looking for. Now, when it comes to traditional financing, right? If you're trying to go this route, you understand who this lane is for. What are some of the different qualifications that if you fall in this bucket, like we say good credit, what does good credit look like when it comes to getting financing on the traditional side? Where it's very simple. So for one, ideally, you want to have at least a 680 FICO or higher. I typically really try and tell people 700 FICO or higher, but 680 is the floor. Usually, the reason why is because at 680, that's usually an indicator. If your credit score is lower than 680, it's usually because you either have a negative item on your report or your utilization is very high, right? So 680 plus essentially lets lenders know that chances are your credit report is properly structured. And if it is that low, it's probably because your utilization isn't where it needs to be. And the second you pay that down, you should be good money, right? They also want to see that you have at least 2+ years of credit history. And they also want to see that you have what we call good comparable credit. What does that mean? Well, good comparable credit means, good comparable credit means that you have lines of credit on the personal side that show higher limits. Why is that important? Banks are going to look at the average size of the limits that you have on the personal side to determine the size of the lines of credit you're going to get on the business side. Because a bank is going to feel comfortable giving you $20,000 on a business credit card if you're only showing that you have 5K lines of credit on the personal side. Can you get approved for a business credit product traditionally if you have 5K, 7K limits on the personal side? Yes, but you're not going to get the sizes that you want. My rule of thumb that I typically tell people when it comes to this rule is have at least $7,500 or higher limits before you start applying for traditional financing, and you should be good money. So they want to see that you have the FICO score. They want to see that you have the credit history. They want to see you have good comparable credit. They also want to see that your inquiry count is low. The reason why is because when you have a high inquiry count, it comes off to lenders that, especially within the last several weeks or months, like if you've applied for more than 5 to 6 plus 10 plus different lenders, or even if it's the same lender multiple times within the last 6 months, it comes off to banks as if you are in need of the money. And a lot of times they don't want to work with you if that's the case. So you want to make sure that your inquiry count stays as low as humanly possible, right? What does low mean? Once again, I want to give you guys details. So 2 to 3 inquiries max. 2 to 3 inquiries max on each bureau. and you're in the catbird seat, more or less, right? So once you're here, you're good. So we got 680 plus FICO, 2+ years credit history, good comparable credit, 700, 500 limits, inquiry count low, right? They also want to see that you have good credit mix, right? Good credit mix. What does a good credit mix look like? So there are two types of credit, which is installment versus revolving, right? So installment, think student loans and car notes. And then revolving, think just credit cards, right? Credit cards. So you want to have a good balance of both. I typically tell people if you have 5 accounts on your credit report, 2 to 3 should be installment lines and 2 to 3 should be credit cards. Am I saying to go take out a card note just for the sake of having strong credit? No, but just know if you do have those lines of credit on your report, although DTI is a very real thing, those accounts can be helping you more than they're hurting you, just as long as you're making those payments connected to the account on time. And then the last thing that typically most lenders are looking for on the traditional side is relationships, right? If you're looking at most lenders like Chase, like Wells, like Bank of America, right? They don't want you to just come in and apply willy-nilly. They want to see that you have some type of relationship with them on the personal side and on the business side. That looks like a personal checkings and a personal savings, a business checkings and a business savings, that you're making consistent deposits. Hopefully I'm not blocking this. Consistent deposits into these accounts. So if you check off these boxes, now you're in the sweet spot when it comes to being able to get access to traditional financing. Now we covered one lane. Once again, there's multiple lanes that exist here, okay? The next lane that we're gonna cover is alternative financing. Now before we do, if you're watching this video and you're not really sure which of these lanes you fall into and you wanna learn more about how you could potentially work with me and my team so that we can not only analyze your personal situation, your business situation, and create a custom funding game plan to get you access to the capital that you need, I'm gonna leave a link in the description below where you can book a call with our team, learn more about our services, and ultimately see if you qualify to work with us. Once again, the link is going to be in the description below, but back to this video. Now, the next lane that we're going to cover is alternative. What is alternative financing? Let's break it down with a fine-tooth comb, shall we? So with alternative financing, credit score in this lane actually takes a back seat. Why? Because cash flow is king. Not just revenue, but more specifically cash flow, okay? And typically, you're not working with traditional lenders. You're usually working with private lenders based out of Wall Street who are known to work with businesses that you don't necessarily fit the traditional mold, right? Maybe you're in a more higher risk industry, right? Doesn't fit traditional mold, right? You're in a higher risk industry, but you need the funds in order for your business to grow, right? This type of lending is going to be ideal for you, and this is more than likely the lane that you're going to want to look for. So ideally for this type of financing, what are these lenders who provide alternative looking for? So you do need, your credit score does need some level of a pulse. So ideally you want to have at the very bare minimum a 550 plus FICO. Now, for some of you guys, you may be jumping for joy like, oh, does this mean that we can get funding with bad credit? Remember, lenders need to see that you have something. So, just gotta say, okay, you need to have at least a 550 FICO score doesn't mean that there isn't something else that these lenders are looking for. In turn, for you having this 550, they also want to see that your business is doing at least 50K per month in revenue. Okay, they want to see that your business is at least 50K per month in revenue. They want to see that you've been in business for at least 6 to 12 months plus. Right? So you didn't just start the business yesterday. You've been in business for a decent enough amount of time. Okay. And on top of that, they want to see that you have 550 FICO, 50K a month, 6 to 12 months. And they also want to see some of your other lien positions as well. What does lien positions mean? Typically, for most alternative lenders, they're not going to rush to want to work with you if they are finding out that they are going to be the first lender you've ever worked with. One of the things you'll notice across the board when it comes to any form of financing, most lenders feel comfortable once they've seen you do business with other lenders before they ultimately lend you the money. Why? Because it decreases your risk profile. At the end of every day, and I say this every single video, banks want to lend money, but they want to protect their bottom line. How do they protect their bottom line? By saying, okay, if you can show me that you've worked with 3 lenders before me, and you've done good business with them in terms of borrowing the money and paying it back on time, now I feel a lot more confident when it comes to giving you the money you're looking to get from us, okay? So ideally with most of these alternative lenders, they do not want to be your first lien position or your second or your third. They usually want to come in around like the 3rd or 4th spot after they've seen that you've managed different lines of credit with different lenders and what that experience was, ultimately before they come in now and say like, all right, we can go ahead and give you the financing that you are looking for. Now, typically with alternative financing, you're usually looking at different credit products like lines of credit options and beyond. And when it comes to how these lenders make their money, they make their money on what are called factor rates. So think of factor rates as almost like another version of like interest that you're paying on the loan. Okay. Factor rates, when you're working with these lenders, go anywhere from 1.15% to 1.35%. What does that mean? If I had to give you an example, let's say you work with an alternative lender and you got approved for $100K in funding on a 1.5 factor rate. You're simply just taking the $100K, timesing that by your factor rate, and essentially to borrow this money, you would end up paying back, okay, 100, and obviously I'm using this as an example, you would end up paying back $115,000, okay? $115,000, excuse me, on this debt. So you'd essentially be paying back $15K on top of the $100K that they allowed for you to borrow, okay? Which is another reason why, once again, they're paying attention to the revenue that you're looking at, because once again, they're not just looking at revenue, they're looking at cash flow. So let's say, for example, your business makes $50,000 a month, right, per month, but at the end of every month, you're essentially breaking even. Well, alternative lending probably isn't going to work for you because there's not enough cash flow, there's not enough meat on the bone that your business is generating on a monthly basis to where you can afford to essentially take on a loan such as this and pay these individuals back on time. And also another thing as well, with traditional loans, the payback terms are variable. So sometimes they want you to pay back weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, and sometimes monthly. So this is exactly why for most businesses, it's not enough to just say, well, I make $50K a month. How much money do you have at the end of every month? So because these are ultimately all the things that different alternative lenders are going to be looking for before they ultimately give you the money that you're looking for. So we covered traditional, we covered alternative. Now let's cover the third lane. And once again, there are many more that exist, but this is the last one that we're going to be covering for this video, which is SBA. Okay. SBA, right? The Small Business Administration. Most of you guys are familiar with them, especially now in the year 2026. A lot more news has been coming out about them, primarily because there have been some people who have been getting caught up with fraudulent situations with that PPP stuff. We're not going to get into all that. But then also because there recently was some news that came out that they've made substantial increases when it comes to the overall loan limits that they're giving out. So obviously reason to be excited there. But let's talk a little bit about the SBA and ultimately what they're looking for when it comes to, you know, what it takes to be able to work with the SBA, okay? So SBA is somewhat similar to alternative and also has some elements of traditional as well. This is government backed. This is government backed financing, right? So you're not working with a Chase, right? Chase Bank, nope. Alternative lender, nope. You're dealing directly with the Govy. And they're the ones that are ultimately reviewing your overall business profile and ultimately determining to see if it makes sense to work with you. And similar to alternative, they're looking at your overall business revenue situation to determine if it makes sense. And they're also looking at your credit situation too, to an extent, to ultimately see if it makes sense to give you the money you're looking for. Now, there are tons of different SBA programs that exist out there. For a lot of the lenders that we work with primarily, typically when it comes to SBA, you're able to get loan sizes from on the low end or more. Obviously a little bit less than that, a little bit more than that. And in terms of what the SBA is looking for, they want to see that you have at least a 600 plus personal FICO score. They also want to see that your business does, at the very bare minimum, 100K per year in business revenue. Okay. And once again, that you have tax returns from the last 2 years to show for this revenue. Okay. So they also want to make sure that your business on paper can show, like, you're not just telling them, hey, I made 100K. You have actual documentation by way of the government to show that you make this money. If you own more than 20% of the business, you have to be a personal guarantor of the loan. So this is kind of where the elements of the traditional come in. So what does that mean? All that means is that if you have a business partner, if it's an 80-20 or a 50-50 or a 70-30, both of you both must be personal guarantors on this funding. Now, here's the most important part about SBA, and I want to make sure I break this down very clear for y'all. If you are looking for anywhere between 50 to 150K loan from the SBA, they ultimately determine the size of that loan based on 50% of your biz revenue minus your outstanding debt. So what does that mean? Well, what that means, let's say your business makes 100K a year and you want to get a loan for 150K. They're going to take 50% of your business's revenue, which is 50,000, minus whatever outstanding debt you have. So let's say you have another loan that you're still in the process of paying for 10K. So that means that the total amount that you would be able to get approved for, if you're looking for up to 50 to 150K, is a $40,000 loan, right, for your business that's making 100K a year. Versus if you want to get anything higher than 150K in terms of the loan size, then now they want to do, I want to make sure I double check this. Yep. 35% of your business's revenue minus the outstanding debt. However, here's the most important part about SBA that most people don't know. With SBA, unused business lines of credit count as debt. What does that mean? If you have a $20,000 business line of credit, even if it's paid in full or you haven't even touched it since getting it, the SBA is still going to identify that line of credit against the total amount that you can get access to. So once again, let's say that you have a $100,000 business, you want a 150K loan from the SBA. They're going to take 50% of that, which now brings you down to 50K. Let's say you have a $20,000 line of credit. The total loan size that you would more than likely be able to get approved for from the SBA is a total of, what I said 20, so a $30,000 loan, right, from them. So these are all important pieces of information learned. And case in point, like I mentioned earlier, there's no one size fits all when it comes to financing. It's just about you being able to analyze your business properly to see which of these lanes that you ultimately fall into so you can make the decision on which lane you want to pursue to get your business the financing it needs. But that's all for this video. If you enjoyed the content in this video and you want to learn more about how you could potentially work with me and my team so we can analyze your business and see which of these lanes is a best fit for you in getting access to funding, the link to learn more about how you could work with us is going to be in the description below, where you can book a call, we can talk more about your custom funding plan and see if you're a fit to work with us. Until next time though, family, peace.